Denny here from Friendly's in South City. And now that we've wrapped up a great year with Mizzou and our St. Louis Cardinals, let's show some support for our Blues. With the new year, I like to keep things interesting, so I'm going to give away free food during every Blues game this January. You heard right, that's free home team special menu items during every game. And if that weren't enough, every time you come down for the Blues game, you can register to win a set of your own Blue Note tickets for a game in February. So join us during any Blues game in January for free food and your chance to win tickets. Only at Friendly's at 3503 Roger Place.
Welcome back to the Press Box on CBS Sports 920 and InsideSTL.com.
Welcome back. Lindenwood University Press Box. We gave you the final countdown to kind of depress you that Kroenke was leaving, and now we're giving you happy. Hopefully he's going to stay. This is a new song. I tell you what, though, it's got a little old Motown feel to it. Really enjoyed it. I listened to it on the radio when my kids were listening to their music, as they always do when they're in my car. But I immediately called Brian and said, let's get a hold of this. This is good stuff. All right, Lindenwood University Press Box, CBS Sports Radio 920, inside STL.com. We'll talk hockey with Andy Strickland from Fox Sports Midwest at 11:20. Kim English, former Tiger great, about 11:30. Kenny Rice, NBC Sports, at 11:40. Of course, the big story of the day is the Stan Kroenke purchase of 60 acres in the Los Angeles area. And we thought we'd get on one of the top real estate developers in St. Louis and basically across the country. He's Jim Sansone. Jim, good to be with you. How are you?
Great, thank you. How are you doing today?
Very good. Jim, right off the bat, 60 acres in Los Angeles, a place that would probably want to have a splash of a new NFL team. Does that seem like enough in your mind?
Well, let me say this. Stan Kroenke is certainly capable of acquiring real estate and getting sufficient acreage for him to put a stadium. 60 acres is bigger than where the current dome is, but if by today's standards and certainly a market like Los Angeles, 60 acres seems to be short of what they would actually need. Closer to 100 acres. You know, Jerry Jones is on 140 acres, and you're talking a bigger market than obviously we'd be having here in St. Louis.
Jim, cost-wise, and I know it's a little bit different in St. Louis than it would be in Los Angeles construction cost, but if you're building a great stadium, what do you think in L.A.? What would that cost Stan Kroenke out there?
Well, it's going to cost him a lot more than it is in St. Louis. I wouldn't want to speculate on construction costs in Los Angeles, but we all know that Mr. Kroenke is certainly capable. He has multiple sports teams, and I don't think that the price is what would stand in his way, whether he would build on land in Los Angeles or whether he'd build on land in St. Louis.
Jim, you're a popular guy. When I mentioned that you were going to be on the radio, I immediately got some text here at the radio station, and somebody texting in asked Jim Sansone about a new stadium just north of the Dome that was going to be in the Bottleneck District. There seems to be plenty of room. What about that as a possible site for a stadium here?
I think that St. Louis offers several alternatives for a stadium. That being one, I think south of the downtown area, there's enough common ownership that sufficient acreage could be put together. I think that at Page Extension and the 141 area, there's real estate there. We all know that the Chrysler plant is currently under contract, but if you were at the owners' meeting, they didn't say that a stadium was not going there. They said currently because they haven't been contacted by Mr. Kroenke. So there are several areas within St. Louis, within downtown and in the county area, that could be sufficient space for a stadium.
Jim, put us in the mind of Stan Kroenke. I know that's almost impossible to do, but I'd love to get your take. Could this basically be, Brian Burwell has speculated in print and on radio already today, that this is a way of getting the people that are supposed to be negotiating with Stan about a possible new stadium or improving this new stadium or this existing stadium? Is this a way of getting them to the table? Because a Rams official told me today, look, it was February 1st, 2012 when an arbitrator ruled, and there hasn't been anything done since. Your take there?
Well, it's interesting when you say Stan Kroenke's mind. I don't think, and if I was to place myself there, Mr. Kroenke doesn't need to get real estate under contract in order for people to know that he's serious, and he's a serious professional sports owner. But certainly him having additional property or getting property under contract, and what I understand is that was formerly in the Walmart family, and then it was transferred to Mr. Kroenke. It's coincidental from a timing standpoint, but if that's what it takes for people to be serious about his ability to move a sports team, then good for him.
The Sansone Group has plenty of properties. Do any of those make sense, the ones that you own for a possible stadium?
Well, they don't, but we'd be happy to be working on his behalf and find the real estate, because I guarantee you we have real estate here in St. Louis that is plenty sufficient for a new stadium and one that fits the standards that Mr. Kroenke's looking for.
Jim, great stuff. We appreciate the knowledge. Thanks so much for being a part of the program.
Pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
All right, Jim Sansone, the principal with the Sansone Group